Okay, so what do we got here? This is the commercial unit. This is a Vevor distiller. And on the front, you got a light and a button. We'll explain that in just a little while. Then I've got water in here because I've already distilled some water, about a half a gallon so far. You got two plugs. These are standard. I forget the name of these plugs, but they're the same thing you find on the back of your computers. And you got an on and off switch. And that's basically all you've got. Now on your top, this is the condensation or condenser unit. Pick up my pieces here. This is the condenser unit. And so it is a coil inside of here with fins on it and a fan on top that blows onto that. And so your steam will come up into the top. It'll get captured into this section right here, which probably, this top is probably blowing up, I would think, which would cause a vacuum to suck air in from the bottom potentially, or it may just be blowing. I'm not really sure. But no, it wouldn't, because that's all sealed off. But anyway, your steam would come up through here, start up through that coil, and the fan is blowing on that coil, cooling it off. By the time it gets to the bottom, so it's starting at the top, by the time it gets to the bottom, it goes into this section right here. Now this is a catch. So pop this open, and you have the outlet right here. Now, let me just adjust this. I'm scrunching it down in there better. So get that in place, pop that up, and that's all good to go. And so that's the condenser unit. This plugs into, I guess this would be the female end, and this is the male end. And it plugs into here. So when you first get the unit, put the top on, and this one is 110 volt unit. And so I'm going to turn it so, where's the on-off switch? So the exit spout is about 90 degrees to the on-off switch. Take this and plug it into here. And take your standard power cord, or go grab the one off your computer, and plug it up into here. So now let's get this turned around. And let's kind of turn it this way. So hopefully you can see the front of it. The cord over there, which we may not be able to do this because we have all of this spout and everything in place. But there we go. So that fits up in, yeah, that's going to fit up in there just fine. Okay, and so this right here, you have charcoal pouches. So you can take that, put one of these charcoal pouches in there, and that will filter your water as it comes out that spout. You have this, which is basically going into place over your catch jug, more or less. And you put it in here, and it catches that piece. Let me get this out of the way. Try to turn that so maybe you can see the water as it dribbles down. Okay, so on the unit, you also come get, well, this is a little container of citric acid, and this is a pouch full of citric acid. And so you take a tablespoon of that with a liter of water, and you put it inside here and you run it. And that's going to clean the unit, clean the coil, and clean everything up. And you need to do that periodically, depending on how much well, I forgot to set my timer. I'm trying to set a timer or something for 10 minutes so I don't run over it. Anyway, so you'll clean everything out. It depends on how often you actually distill water as to how often you're going to need to clean it out, and that's the sediments that build up inside of it. Of course, all the hardness and everything else, you'll find out how hard your tap water is by distilling the water, because you'll have even more sediment that builds up in the container and you need to clean it out more often. So with this said, let's go plug it in because it takes forever for this thing to start. Now, on this, when I first turn this switch on in the back, this light will come on and it'll start to run. Now, once it's finished and cuts itself off, then it's off. Use the water, do whatever. You can add more water to it if you want, and all that kind of good stuff. To start it distilling again, you have to push this button. So this is like a start button. When you first turn it on, it starts to distill. So let's do that. The fans come on the top. It's blowing upwards. So it's drawing in at the bottom and coming up through the top. And kind of makes sense because it is cooling the bottom of the fin first upwards. And your steam is going in the top, condensing, coming down. So they're kind of meeting in the middle. So with this fan on, it's started. With this light comes on. Now, once this condenses to the point that it is producing distilled water, then the next time when it shuts itself off, then the next time you have to hit this button, the start button, to start it to condensing again. I don't know why it's like that. It's a little odd. I would just pretty much prefer that you have to hit the button to start it each time, but I guess that's just the way it is. Maybe this unit is intended to pretty much stay on the counter and only be, not be unplugged and turned off. It just stays active and on the counter. You just put water in there, stick your jug underneath it and hit the button, walk away. Days later, you come back, use your water, grab the top, add more water, put it back together, push the button and it starts, and walk around and come back days later. I guess that's maybe the thought behind it, possibly. I still would prefer an on-off, and I would end up turning the switch off anyway, because I wouldn't trust it just sitting there on the counter plugged in for a heating element. It's just not something that I would feel comfortable doing. You do you, I'll do me. So that's basically the unit. Now, this little jug is, I guess the jug's capacity is 1.1 gallons, and I guess that's what 4 liters come out to. So that's the capacity of the machine. There's a fill level inside the machine. Don't fill it above that level. I guess the best recommendation would be to have this measured out full, pouring that water in there, seeing where it comes out to. But then you have some cross-contamination with tap water in here, some residuals from that with your distilled water. So I wouldn't really recommend doing it that way. I just say get you a pitcher, fill it up with water till it gets to the full level, which is about somewhere in here, and start it going. And then periodically clean the inside as you see buildup start to develop. I haven't run this until it's actually cut itself off. But what I'll probably do is just go ahead and my phone hates me. What I'll probably do is just go ahead and cut away until this thing starts making distilled water, which it takes it about 30 minutes to get hot enough, because that's the difference between this and the coffee distiller that I made, the coffee pot. Because the coffee pot has a percolator element in the bottom of it that superheats water into steam instantly. So it instantly starts producing steam within probably less than 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds. This right here, there's nothing like that in here. It's just a open container, and however much water you put in there to the level, it's got to heat all that up to a boil. Once it gets that all up to a boil, then it's constantly rolling steam as a rolling boil. But it's all self-contained. There's no leakage. There's nothing getting out. The top is sealed to the bottom. So we're going to cut away, and we'll come right back as soon as this thing is producing some steam. Okay, so it did take about 30 minutes, and I don't know I mean, it's probably about 1/4 of an inch down here. So it's been about 30 to 40 minutes. And it started producing distilled water, and I let it go for probably about another 10 minutes so we get built up. And so the way to run, and I think it is producing a lot faster than the coffee pot distiller. And the way it seems to do is it'll build up, and then suddenly it'll just have a steady stream that comes out. And then it may be 10, 15 seconds, and then it starts to do a steady drip. And then that builds up into a steady stream, and then there's a pause as it builds up again. And so it's producing, actually, I think it's producing distilled water even faster today than it did yesterday. And so, and this is all good, clean distilled water. I don't know where my jug is, but I got a half a jug, which let me go ahead and get it and bring it over here. So that's what I've gotten so far out of it. And that's all good, cleaned, distilled water after the unit has been cleaned. And so it's roughly, to right here. So it's about a half a gallon. So this produces more than that'll hold, which is fine. That's not a big deal. But again, I mean, this jug right here is very easy. It's easy to deal with. It's easy to pour the water out of. I was able to pour it out of this into this jug with no problem. Actually, I don't think I spilled a drop pouring it over into it. Another aspect to this that I didn't think about, but with this top right here, it also, if there was any spitting or sputtering from steam actually coming out, which no steam comes out this spout that I have seen. But if there was any spitting and sputtering, then that will shield and keep that from happening. Plus, it's a great funnel to make sure all of the water goes down into this container. In addition to that, it also provides some kind of cover over the top that will help with evaporation probably. Because the distilled water that's inside here is like, I mean, it's not even as hot as a cup of coffee. So this condenser works very well condensing it down. Now the air coming out the top, I can feel it. It's warm air. It's definitely warm air coming out the top. So it's good solid steam hitting the top of that this condensing unit, or the bottom of this condensing unit. Works great. I have no negatives to this unit at all. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside and start working on the drone to get it set up so that I can do some drone videos today. We got a function at church tonight, and so I'll be busy on that. So hopefully I can get all this done before then. So anyway, that's where I'm at. When the video comes back again in a little while, it will be a final thoughts on this unit right here, and it having cut itself off. We'll look at the water level that's inside of the unit, and see at what point it actually cuts it off, whether it cuts itself off at a dry inside, or if it leaves X amount of water inside of it and cuts itself off, or exactly what. I'm not really sure at where it does that. So anyway, we will be right back. So it works. It's a success. I've got a full gallon of distilled water over the course of 2 days, but only an hour or so each day. Let it run. And so I think it takes about 3 hours to get a gallon out of it. And that's just kind of gauging behind setting it and coming back later, and it's either done or not done. Now, one thing I did notice is I told you in the review earlier that you turn the power on and it automatically starts and it goes. That's on your first cycle. Then you, the next time when it shuts itself off automatically, the next time you turn it on, you have to hit the start button down here, which you have to hit the start button down here. And I think that's still hidden. So let me get this water out the way. So here you have the start button down here that you have to press, and that starts the process. And I hadn't had to hit that button because every time I turned it on, it would automatically go. But I had not let it go until it shut itself off. So it's got some kind of a flip-flop in the circuitry on it. And so what it does is you plug it in, you fill it up to water, plug it in, turn the switch on in the back, and if it doesn't automatically come on, hit the start button. But normally it'll automatically come on. It'll go to distilling water. If you turn it off before it cuts itself off, then every time you turn the switch on, it starts automatically. Now, if you let it run until it shuts itself off, then you can unplug it, turn the power off and all that. But the next time you plug it all back up, you have to hit the start button to turn it back on. So I don't know how that circuit actually works. I'm not really going to tear it down because I'm not that interested in how it works. But it's some form of a flip-flop in there. Once it goes to the process where it shuts itself down, then you have to hit the start button to turn it on again after that, even after unplugging it and turning the power on and off and such like that. So you could leave it plugged in, just turn your switch off in the back when you're done with it for comfort. And when you get ready to use it again, fill it up, turn your switch on and hit your start button is the process you would use, from that point going forward. Now, how much water was left in here when it finished and shut itself down? None. Was it dried? No. It didn't run itself until it was dried out. But it run up all the water that was in it. There was residual moisture that was still in the system that drained back down. But what I believe is happening is there's a thermostat or potentially a click-on or something, however the circuit is designed, in the bottom of this pot. And whenever the temperature starts to rise above a certain set point, it shuts itself off. It makes sense because a pot full of water doesn't burn up, but an empty pot burns up. And the reason being is it gets hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter sitting there on the stove. While it has water in it, that keeps it cool. Why? Because water evaporates. Well, it does. But it evaporates at 212 degrees. The rest of the water inside the pot is less than 212 degrees, or it would be steam. So the water being less than 212 degrees inside here keeps everything cool. And so when the water runs out, the temperature begins to rise and something triggers a shutdown at that point. And I think that's what I'll set up potentially on my coffee pot. So I'll need I could do on the percolator, or actually on the warmer, I could set it with a larger click-on that shuts down at a higher temperature, potentially say 225 degrees, because the pot, I don't believe, is going to get hotter than 212 because that's what's evaporating water. And so I think as long as there's water in there, it'll keep that temperature. Maybe 250. Regardless, it works. It works great. I'm running another batch of distilled water to fill up my CPAP jugs. Got another one here. Or actually, this is my baby jugs. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I don't get in trouble for that. Anyway, so it's the water I use for my CPAP machine. So anyway, that's all I got. I appreciate you guys. I enjoy doing these things. I enjoy doing these things even more with you. And I look forward to the next project, which is probably going to be some drone stuff, some more stuff on these coffee makers, and potentially developing the battery system for the HSO2 soldering iron. So anyway, I will see you on the next one. Your time is very important to me, and I thank you for spending it here with me. Thanks, and God bless.